Hi everyone, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to this video. We will talk about the June astrology and we will also get into your zodiac specific behavior throughout this month. I will still be making tarot videos, so if you're interested in a tarot reading, you can access that as I upload it. Subscribe and hit the bell so you are notified whenever the videos are up. So on the 2nd of the month, we have Venus in Cancer trining with Neptune in Pisces, and this is a favorable aspect which lights up your 8th house and your 4th house. So your internal state is just feeling really good. It's likely that you're gaining some very nice benefits through therapy or by being vulnerable with a close member. Also, it can be that you are learning more about your inner self and discovering a sense of peace or something you can do in your everyday life that actually brings you to that state of peace. Then you can use this information to cultivate that same emotional happiness and intimacy later down the line. On the 4th of the month, we have a full moon in your sign. So the sun is in your opposite sign of Gemini and the moon is in your zodiac. So this brings into focus what you are craving or desiring from your relationships and your relationship patterns. It can also be that you have some important conversations with a loved one. It can even be very close friendships, okay? Someone that you share a one-on-one time with or can share a one-on-one time with. They can offer you some new perspectives or some information comes to light and you are then thinking about what it means for you guys in the future. Also, this can mean that you are evaluating what types of relationships you want. So even if you're not connecting with someone new at this time, you're still looking at what you would like to have within a partner and what do you contribute in a partnership as well. The same day we have a Mercury conjoining Uranus aspect in Taurus, and that is going to light up your 6th house. And this means that there can be some breakthroughs, some sudden news or information that comes to light regarding your lifestyle, your routines, or even your work life. So some new project comes in or a brilliant idea comes through and you're not expecting that. But now that you know something, you want to get right away and put that into action. When we're talking about Taurus, this is something that we're resistant to change. So once you establish a lifestyle, it's likely to stick for far longer than if you had a mutable sign here or a cardinal sign over here as well. So there can be whatever the project or news that comes in here, it makes a solid difference. It is a breaking out of existing patterns, not getting complacent about, let's say that you feel lethargic if you eat certain foods, or if you right after eating, if you get on your phone, then you just get lazy and then the time goes on and then you just lose track of time, right? That is a sequence of events that is not going to help you keep stepping out of your comfort zone or even maintaining a healthy lifestyle. So this day can be especially illuminating and bringing in some information in this arena. Okay, on the 5th, we have Venus moving into Leo, and that is going to be activating your 9th house. Yes, your 9th house, and that's a fellow fire sign, so it is going to be a favorable aspect to you. It is going to bless you with enthusiasm, inspiration. You might even connect with some people from your network, from different cultures and different backgrounds, perhaps even learning some different languages if that's something you enjoy. Learning for the sake of learning is not really indicated here. Only if you enjoy this sort of thing, then you can delve into it. Also, it's possible that you connect with someone and you really enjoy talking to them and there can be some type of romance that can develop here. And because it's in a trine aspect, it can mean that this goes the long haul. Leo is a fixed sign, so they really value loyalty and self-expression as well. So as long as there's freedom of speech, freedom of being, and acceptance, mutual acceptance and receptivity as well, there should be no downside to this. Now, Venus is going to stay here for quite some time though. So in July or so, it's going to go retrograde. It's going to stay there for a bit. And in like October or something, it is going to come back out of retro. So it's going to live in this Leo zodiac in your 9th house for quite some time. And this can mean that you are reconsidering the place where you are. Maybe you are wanting to go abroad and find some other place where you can be a performer, or you want to contribute your expression in any other way. So you're looking at what would be the best fit for you. Alternatively, the 9th house also talks about belief systems. So what is your outlook towards religion, spirituality, the world in general? Do you think the world is bad or the world is good? Is it evil? Is it not so evil? Is it all of the above. What is it exactly you might be going through those things? Especially your relationship with your father figure can go through some changes. There's still a sense of affinity, but the way that you express yourself might be a little bit different. The same day, we have Venus opposite Pluto, and that's going to affect your 3rd and 9th houses. So oppositions with Pluto can show a dark side of love, or, the possessive sides that we have regarding ourselves, like my way or the highway. And that's a show of self-love. But at the same time, we are part of a collective. So how much power do we give to others, and how much are we reserving for ourselves? This question can come in here. Beware of a little bit stubbornness. This is a fixed sign aspect. Although I'm not too worried for you, it's still at a favorable angle to you. So I think whatever comes out of your discussions with, let's say, superiors or people from your environment or higher up organizations, even education fields, actually might be quite inspiring. For example, let's say you want to go for another course, so you want to go for higher education, and that would really make you very, very happy, but you still have to figure out the logistics of things, and does it make sense for you? Maybe you have some fears regarding whether you're going to fit in with the college you want to apply, or the conveniences that you have. So still there are some things to figure out, but it's still for a good reason, right? Okay, on the 7th, we have Venus and Leo squaring with North Node in Taurus, and that brings into focus your 9th house and 6th house, so there can be some conversations, or some authority figure might give you some role and responsibility that might be a little bit uncomfortable for you. There is the need to step outside of your comfort zone and change the things that you have been doing so far in some way. Some adjustment is needing to be made here, but it does create a level of breakthrough, because you're realizing that you have more skills and talents that you gave yourself credit. And sometimes, fixed signs need a little bit of a trigger with that square aspect to bring out the best within them. So yes, it can turn out quite well. On the 11th, we have Mercury moving into Gemini, and 11th is a big day, by the way. 4 aspects are happening, so heavy stuff. Mercury moving into Gemini is a really good thing, though, because it's in your opposite house, but also it rules Gemini, and the same day it is trining with Pluto in Aquarius. So 3 happy things happening regarding Mercury's transit here. So this can mean that you get a lot of orders if you have a business, or this can be that the things that you have to say make a huge impact on other people. You can also gather a lot of new insights through other people, especially the ones in your surroundings. If you work in a team, or if you have classmates, it is likely you have good relationships with them, and brainstorming sessions are likely to lead to a lot of benefit for each and every person involved. The ideas that you get around this time can lead to a partnership as well, if that's something that applies for you. Even if not, you can bounce off ideas with other people, maybe even online, and create a new type of network that you want to connect with. A type of friendship can be formed here as well, and you're likely to meet them somewhere that you go every day, like your groceries or your transport. Let's say you use the bus, maybe at the bus stop or the train stop or something like that can happen here. Okay, the same day we have Pluto, which is retrograde in Aquarius, retrograding back into Capricorn, where it was since 2008. So we are looking at another time. Okay, it was here for a while, but because it moved ahead into Aquarius and now it's coming back, we're sort of revisiting the lessons we have already learned and checking if those things are still valid given the new way of life that is emerging, or the new outlook and focus that is emerging at this time. Maybe we need to take something from the past, or we need to refine something we have learned in the past to make better sense for the future. And this for you lies in your self-worth and your financial structures. The mindset shifts that you're going through, or about to go through even more actually in 2024. You are going to look at how you relate that mindset with your money, or your self-worth, or even your priorities. What are your priorities really aligning you towards? Maybe those priorities have shifted, so then the habits change. The expenditure of time, money, and resource is also going to change, right? So we're taking a look at that. Let's continue with the previous examples. If you want to take a course, you perhaps need to arrange for some finances. First, you need to take care of your fears, and then you need to take care of the finances. And then you come back and take care of the logistics and make the applications, etc., etc. Right? Okay, now the same day, again, we have Venus in Leo squaring with Jupiter in Taurus. This I would characterize as overindulgence. Now, Jupiter is your zodiac's ruler. Yeah. And it is sitting in your 6th house. So this can bring in some, I'm not going to say tension. It is a bit tension. Like someone is, for example, complimenting you for a job very well done. So now you should do all of the work. It's sort of like that. So they're praising you, but at the same time, you're not benefiting too much out of it. But it's also a good thing to be noticed by people for whom you're doing some work, or showcasing your skills and whatever the case is. Especially if you're a teacher, you might be very well recognized while Venus is in Leo, but then squaring with Taurus, it might mean that you have a lot more work, a lot more students want to come to you for help, and it's only your help that is going to be helpful, and so on, right? So I don't know, it's a judgment call whether you find this pleasant or not. Okay, now on the 15th, we have Mercury in Gemini squaring with Saturn in Pisces. And this is going to square with your home and family sector. So your partnership life with your home and family. Let's say you want to meet with your partner. And there might be some obligations or other responsibilities you have for your home and family that does not allow you to spend very free time with your partner and kind of be very freestyling, go wherever, do whatever type of thing. Maybe you have to cut short that conversation, or it can be an argument with an existing partner about how you would like to raise your children, or what type of family structure do you come from. There might be a different outlook that you see. Squares are not necessarily bad. They're not necessarily only frustrating and anxious causing. They're also about breakthroughs. So understanding someone's background can give you a lot of detail on why someone is the way they are, right? So that can help you connect with someone a lot more deeply. So take it as it resonates. On the 17th, we have Saturn in Pisces going retrograde. So this means restructuring things around your home or your family structure. The way that you connect with them, maybe if you meet them once a week, you might meet them once in 2 weeks, or vice versa. It can be the way that you communicate, or the role that you have within your family structure that can be going through some changes here. And of course, on a more, surface level, we might be changing the structure of the house, or you want to move the plants around to give you a better vibe while you work from home, or, the rooms are changing. Maybe you're shifting the bedroom to some other room, etc. Right? Okay, on the 18th, we have a new moon in Gemini, and this one is going to square with Neptune in Pisces. Now, again, Neptune is in your home and family sector, and that's squaring with your partnership house. So new communication and new connections that can come in that you may not be very sure whether it's the right one for you or not yet. That's a very important clause to put in. This is a mutable sign square, okay? And mutable signs don't know yet. It does not mean they will never know. It does not mean they are being fake or manipulative or any of those things. It's just that they themselves don't know yet. So there might be some conversation or a topic, an idea that comes up to you or through other people that is not yet fully developed. So you can't say whether it's going to be successful or not, or whether you will gel or not, and so on. You have clear differences, and that those differences can make or break a connection or an idea, project, etc. Okay, now the next day we have the same square repeating, but now the moon has moved on, so we have the sun squaring Neptune. And again, this vagueness might continue, and for you it's falling in the pivotal houses, the 4th, 7th, 1st and 10th. All 4 of these are very important parts of our chart. So anything that happens here, we are likely to feel them the most. We give these things the most priority in our life. And then we talk about the 2nd house and 8th house and 5th house, etc. So this square here might feel especially vague for you or especially frustrating because it is unclear. Like, which way do you plan then? Because you are someone who likes to know a little bit advance in the future. The future itself might shift and move and all of that, but you have an idea of where you're going. But Gemini is not so much about the far distance, it's about the right now. Do we be spontaneous now? Shall we read now? Shall we learn something now, etc.? Meanwhile, Pisces does not even care about any of that. It's like, well, what does it matter anyway? We're all one ultimately. We're all connected ultimately. As long as there is love, it doesn't matter, etc. Right? So this might feel a little bit frustrating. But it is, again, something comes out of it, and as long as you keep an open mind and you are open to experimentation in these particular sectors, it is likely going to give you very good results. Okay, on the 21st, we have the summer solstice. The sun moves into Cancer, and that brings your focus into your 8th house of shared resources, and also your taxes, investments, accountants. If you have any, you might go to them, connect with them, find out how you can get the most out of your money. There can also be conversations or thoughts about vulnerability. And if you have trouble being vulnerable, you might decide to go to a therapist or delve into some esoteric healing and other sciences to give you more context of why you are the way you are and how can you love yourself, how can you practice more of that self-love so you don't look for that outside. And also, loving yourself helps you connect with other people much more deeply. So there's a lot of self-revelation that you will find, and you see that you're actually being supported by your shadow side. You're actually being protected and loved by your inner self, your psyche, your subconscious, and so on. It is important with Cancerians that we don't hold on too protectively and too tightly the things that we care about, because that can become borderline possessive. So it's up to you. Each one is different, right? So you're going to see what makes sense for you, what does not, and accordingly things are going to move along. Okay, on the 25th, we have again the square with Neptune being activated, but instead of the sun or the moon, we have Mercury. Now, Mercury is the ruler, and Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. So Mercury rules Gemini, Neptune rules Pisces. It's a tough one because you don't really know who is going to win this particular struggle, but it's the classic representation of the head versus the heart. What do you do? And knowing versus not knowing, faith versus logic, these topics can come up here. And your partnerships might want you to know everything already, or they might be wanting to plan things, or they might want you to plan for some things. Meanwhile, there is still some it's as though something does not quite feel right, or something is missing, or we're not there yet. Something is holding you back in this regard. And this can be for some of you, it can be that your partner has some creative career or some healing professions, and they might be occupied elsewhere. So even though you want to plan something and spend some time together, there's just something that's not fitting well at this time. Okay. All right. Next, on the 26th, we have Mars and Leo squaring with Uranus in Taurus. Okay, now Leo is your 9th house. Venus is already there. We know about that, but Mars is also there. And it is squaring with Uranus, which is in your 6th house. So once again, you might be very driven, you're very motivated and passionate as well, regarding your spiritual prowess, your progress in the world, or your progress towards your future, and you want to make some meaningful changes, okay? And these changes can, with Uranus and Taurus, it's like make the little changes, break down the little things that we always do that does not fit well. Instead of making sweeping changes and, big declarations and all of that, how about we fix our diet first? Or how about we change the way that we wake up? Maybe adding in some exercise is useful. Maybe some relaxation is useful. Maybe switch things up with the routines that you have, and that can do wonders. So because you are so determined in creating your long-term visions to come true, I think you're taking the difficult actions and the difficult steps to make that a reality. It might feel uncomfortable. Squares are a little bit frustrating. It can be uncomfortable because sometimes, you don't know how exactly it might turn out, and fixed signs don't want to change anything unless they know for sure that something is going to work out in their benefit. So that can be the irritating bit, the uncomfortable bit rather. But once you start doing it, it really feels like a load off, and it feels like a release of sorts. Okay, on the 27th, we have Mercury moving into Cancer. This might mean that you're learning more about different healing modalities, like Reiki, tarot, therapy, hypnosis, maybe self-hypnosis, subliminals, manifestation. There's like so many things out there, right? So you might learn some things. You might be interested in learning things like this that would soothe your soul in a way, soothe your heart, calm you down, bring you peace, these types of things, and help you connect with your own heart, and therefore find a better partner for yourself if that's something you're looking for, or connect more deeply with your existing loved ones. And this can even mean like shadows of the family, or because we also have Saturn in your fourth house, this can mean that there are some things about your family that you don't quite know or don't quite understand, and especially the effect it has on you, and you might be discovering more things about this around this time. Now on the 29th, we have a Sun trine Saturn. Sun is in Cancer, Saturn is in Pisces, so the 8th house and your 4th house is getting activated. That same peace and resolution is coming through that we had seen on the 2nd of the month, but this time with all of these things that have happened in between, I think there is a deeper sense of resolution, because you are making it happen. There is a sense of willpower and discipline and personal responsibility as well that comes through, and the clarity sort of liberates you. The next day we have Neptune in Pisces going retrograde, and whenever Neptune is direct, it's all about imagination, intuition, and going with the flow. But when it is retrograde, it's more of a reality check that there are speed bumps and everyone is not ideal, everything cannot be ideal, and that we just have to cope with the reality that is presented while it is retrograde. But the good thing is that same day we have a positive aspect with Mercury in Cancer and the Saturn in Pisces. So regardless of what disillusionment or reality check, etc., that might happen on this day or moving beyond, it's still a pleasant thing to know. Like, it's good to know that you cannot manage more than 8 hours a week for me. I will plan my days accordingly. I will prepare myself in advance, or however it is that you want to cope. That clarity gives you a lot of motivation and personal strength, and you're still exercising self-love here. So if a relationship doesn't work, if it's not your cup of tea, that you meet only 8 hours a week, then done and dusted. Nobody gets hurt. It's nice to know something before everything gets very serious, and then you decide that, well, this is not the person for you, or this is not the idea for you, it's not the situation for you, and so on, right? So it's somehow feeling pleasant for me, especially in the month of June as we explore this topic. So that's what I have for you. Thank you for being here. I really hope you enjoyed and that the messages help you out throughout the month. Stay tuned for the tarot reading for your zodiac sign as well. I will be uploading them soon. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you're notified whenever that's up. And if you enjoyed the reading, please do like and comment your thoughts if you have any. It will be really lovely to hear back from you, and it really helps the channel grow as well. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.